What's going on, everybody? Happy Thirsty Thursday. Another edition here of Dangle Bet Celly, presented by Points Bet. Chris Meaney and Eric Young here with you for the next little bit. We got 11 games on the ice to break down. We're going to call some goals, some sides, some picks, some props, maybe a little DFS talk, maybe a little fantasy hockey talk. A lot to get to here. My original plan was going to open up one of those Upper Deck Series 2 10 boxes, but there's just so many games. March Madness, there's a lot going on. I have to bounce pretty much immediately after this show to take care of a couple things. So we'll do it another time. Next week, I think, is a little bit lighter in terms of the schedule, so we could maybe attack it then. Although I did look at the schedule again for next week, and I think there's one game Wednesday, one game Friday. So we will have another busy couple of shows, but we will get it done. You guys are here for the picks anyways. EY, what are you rocking over there? Is that like my monitor in front of me is a little dark? Is that Hurricanes?
Yep.
It is too. A bunch of jerks.
Sebastian Aho.
His nets off?
Not yet. I'm sure it's on the way. No, Sebastian Aho, love the player. Him and Gensel seem to have some real chemistry right away.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm not hiding the fact that I've said that the Carolina Hurricanes are the Carolina Hurricanes and they just can't get over the hump. Well, I think they've remedied that. And I don't know if they go all the way to the Stanley Cup, but I think it's anyone's ball game in the East, right? It's just, it's basically Florida and Boston. Tampa's messing around now. Toronto's in there too, and then there's just a bunch of other teams that nobody seems to want it, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on Tuesday from New Jersey on, where they got that win against Pittsburgh. We thought that it was a must-win for both teams. They have 70 points, and the Red Wings, who finally picked up a W, Patty Kane Showtime, overtime, they have 2 wins in their last 10. They're holding down that final wild card spot, but it's here, man. Like a lot of teams have 12, 13 games left. Like this time next week, we're talking about 2 weeks left in the NHL season. So it should be a really nice race. Crazy. I think the Lightning have done enough lately. Like they're quietly 7-2-1. They've won 4 straight. They have 80 points. So they have that first wild card spot. But from Detroit, Washington, the Islanders, the Sabres, the Devils, and the Penguins, all separated here by 7 points. And over in the West, man, what a race in the Central. The Jets, the Avs, the Stars, all at 93 points. The Canucks at 94 up at the top in the conference. The Oilers at 86, and then the Kings, who are 6-3-1, look a little bit healthier. Your boy Arvidsson back last night, scored a goal. That game got real nasty. 83 points. And then your Preds are the hottest team in the NHL, 8-0-2 in their last 10, 84 points. A lot of people were talking. I saw the noise on Twitter. Yep, why are you buying? It's not like the pieces that they bought were expensive. They were pretty cheap pieces. And anyways, they're cooking right now, 84 points, holding down their first wild card spot. The Golden Knights at 79. And then the Wild at 76, the Blues at 75. Those teams, the Wild, the Blues are hanging on. They're not officially eliminated, a couple points back, but I don't like their chances to get in. I want to start where Robbie just jumped in. I want to say what up to the crew. You sent me a picture earlier that I think you need to show. I think you need to show the crew as well what you're rocking on your feet.
Oh, let me dig one of these suckers off. For now on, here at I call this Buckingham Studios, where I shoot all the podcasts. This is a hockey studio. As you can see, these NHL things don't come down in the back. I wear a different jersey on every show, and now I've got the official footwear.
Oh, baby.
Gong Show awesome. Slippers. It's a hockey boot. And I got them basically unlaced just like I wear my skates. Love you, Paul Coffey. And away we go.
Oh, those are awesome. Are you actually like Paul Coffey where your skates are 2-3 sizes smaller than maybe they should be? Because I remember hearing stories from him.
I just don't tie them. I just like pull the laces snug. Like I don't reef on the laces. Hurts my feet. And I like my skate to be able to move.
Gotcha. I hear you on that one. You can't have it too tight and restricted up in the top because you're just not going to have the flexibility there.
Yeah, and before we jumped on here, I played what might be my worst game of hockey ever last night. And I'm sick and I'm going to drugs and order Taco Bell at 3 a.m. and my wife moved into the other bedroom. So it's been a pretty turbulent evening for your boy here.
Oh man, I didn't mean to laugh at the worst game, but the way that the story went was fantastic.
Whoa.
Man. Probably a good thing for D that there's no Taco Bell in my area to order at 3 a.m. because I'd probably do the same thing. I was super sad the other night. We lost in the finals my rec league game, and I was up till like 4 a.m. too. Just no Taco Bell, but I'm pounding a little bit of whiskey, I think. Evan's in the house. Welcome in. Man, the Kings look good when they're healthy. Adam Szymanski, morning family. Evan, morning. Everybody is so polite here. Rangers at plus money tonight against the fraudulent Bruins. I don't know, man. The Bruins are playing pretty good lately. It'd be a real good game, though. Why are the Jets minus 120 against the Devils? Are there tons of injuries I'm unaware of? I don't think so. Just Velarde. And even if it's not Hellebuck, Brisbois been really good. The Jets do stand out to me. The Devils played pretty good against the Penguins, but it was the Penguins. Evan's wondering the same thing all over the Jets. Yeah, let's just ride this Jets team out, man. Like, they're just phenomenal. And we talked on Tuesday, the chemistry right away with the two former Habs and Sean Monahan and Tyler Toffoli hooked up again. Evan says the Wings Isles game is so important to both teams. Absolutely. This is a really, really important hockey game. And this is the price confused me here a little bit. Robbie Hockey jumping in says, just drop in and say Duclair for a point is plus money on Fanatics with the 25 plus. Okay, so I was going to say plus money over there. Wow. But okay, so if you have a book over at Fanatics with the 25% profit boost, you can get Duclair up to plus money. Smash the like, have a great show, and go Preds. I appreciate you, Robbie, man. We love the support here on this show and your hockey knowledge as well. Yeah, man, I don't get it. We've been riding this. We talked on Tuesday. That's where I really want to start with the Lightning. I want to start strong here. You watched the Sharks firsthand. How bad are they?
Well, it started off kind of terrifying for Predators fans because it's the classic trap game. They've been playing really good. This brutal team is coming in to play them. They're on a high. They're at home. They're relaxed. There's going to be a Mikael Granlund video for some reason, and it happened, and then he scored, which of course
he has been good. Him and Zetterlund have been bright spots.
He's been good
for the Sharks.
And I heard Dmitry Filippov, and I can't remember the guest now, and I apologize to him, saying those guys are still pro hockey players and they're still going to play important minutes. And if there were better players, then they wouldn't be playing those important minutes. But because they are playing those minutes, they're going to score too, right? Like they're not going to score enough and they're not going to be good enough and the team's going to be bad. But, when you're the 1C and the 1C on the power play and you're playing 21 minutes, you're just on the ice for an incredible amount of time, and you're still an NHL player. Mikael Granlund had lots of great moments here in Nashville, but he was cooked at the end. That's what it looked like to me. Looks like it's a breath of life for him, obviously playing more minutes, and it just gives him more opportunity to pile up stats. I don't think he's a better hockey player all of a sudden. I just think he's being leaned on and put in a position to do more. But, I mean, it was pretty even through, the first period. Then the Preds pressed the gas a little bit in the second, and they pushed back a bit. And then it was just like they came out in the third and said, no, that's not how this is going to go. And you're the San Jose Sharks, and we're one of the hottest teams in the NHL currently. Saros stopped everything, and they walked them in the third period. It was, man, if I was playing on the Sharks team, I would have been embarrassed in the third period. It was.
Well, they've had so many of those games, like the 8-2 to start the season. Remember how things went to start the season? Then they kind of got hot. They won a couple games, and then now it's just back to them. Like even the past 3 weeks, they've hung around with some teams, but overall, they played 68 games. They have 16 wins. They have 39 points. Like the Ducks are bad, and they have 10 more points than the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks have a negative 126 goal differential, so they've lost 5 straight. We're not telling you anything that you don't know, but I wanted to start here strong. And I've been talking about Duclair since the moment he got traded. He was in the fantasy hockey article as a must pick
up. It's an Anthony Duclair podcast. Has
for
been.
years, right? It has been. We love this player. Wherever he plays, he scores goals and he hits the score sheet. And when I talked about him in the fantasy hockey article, I joined the Daily Faceoff podcast with Matt Larkin, and they asked me for a deep league sleeper who was 4% owned at that time. And I only saw one game, but I saw enough. And that first game was actually with Stamkos and Cirelli. And even I thought that was fine. You know, trade in 2 or 3 minutes a game, top power play time for better line mates. Now, the past couple of games, he's been playing with Point Kucherov. We've been taking him over at FTN Bets. He was in the free article on Tuesday, plus 124, plus 130 for a point. I see minus 115 at BetMGM. I think that's still a really good price. He's playing with Kucherov. He's playing with Point. Forget about the revenge game. That's always fun. He's played with a few teams. He's got a big revenge tour.
Yeah.
But he's just playing with good players. And the matchup is fantastic, right? Nobody has allowed more shot attempts over the last 7 weeks at 5 and 5 per 60. They're up near the top. It's either second or third or first in shot attempts, shots, scoring chances, high danger chances, goals, expected goals. They're top 5 in penalties taken. They have a bottom 5 penalty kill. So like the Lightning are just completely set up here tonight. So the minus 115 for Duclair is one of my favorite bets of the day. He's also plus 175 for an assist. I put 2 units on Nikita Kucherov at minus 110 for 2 points. I have 1 unit on Braden Point for 2 points at plus 160. I'm taking the Lightning. I'm taking the juice for them to win by 2 goals on the puck line at minus 146 at FanDuel. So I am really all over that line. And I think this is an opportunity maybe to take guys that you've never, Cirelli to score a goal, Paul maybe to score, Hagel, like Stamkos ladder shots, Point ladder shots. Like I got a feeling Tampa's going to at least put a ton of rubber on the net here tonight against the
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with everything that you said. I'm going with the usual suspects to score, Kucherov and Point. On the San Jose side, Zennerlin, we talked about him. He looks pretty good. It's just, watching him play on this team, it makes you wonder, like, hoping that he's mentally strong, right? Like, knowing that he is a good player and he will be a very good player at some point. And San Jose Sharks in time can turn this around. But like thinking about how mentally hard this is for young players, you get drafted, most exciting day of your life. You go to this pro setup, you're living in San Jose, which is a beautiful city. I mean, San Jose's had some unbelievable teams in the past, never able to get over the hump, but some unbelievable players coming through there. Really good lineage in the hockey world at this point. And now they're just bad, man. They're just bad. And I mean, they're actively trying to be bad because they need to rebuild. But there's young players that are going to be asked to play a lot of minutes on a team that just isn't competitive comparatively in the NHL. And it's sad. But Zetterlund 270 and Zadina, he looks really good still. Like he's doing all the right things. The San Jose broadcast said the coaching staff, the Preds Preds asked the coaching staff of the San Jose Sharks, and they said Zadina played his best game as a Shark the day before. So he seems to be feeling it, and I've always liked him as a player, and I think there's something there. And he kind of like took that huge pay cut to get away from Detroit and go up there to play. He's at plus 340, so I like that.
Nice. It's a good call. As for the ladder, I just want to share what I put in with the FTN crew last night before I crashed was I did Braden Point. I think Stamkos is in play. Kucherov, I'm a little hesitant with the shots. I mean, he just may be a game where he racks up 4 assists or something like that. He may not shoot the puck, but the Lightning still have things to play for, and they're playing good hockey. And, there's only a couple weeks left in the season, so I expect them to continue to push the pace. So, again, just to recap, 2 units on Nikita Kucherov for 2 points, minus 110 over at DraftKings. Braden Point, 1 unit for 2 points at plus 160 DraftKings. Anthony Duclair for a point at minus 115 BetMGM. I got the Lightning. I had last night minus 140 at BetMGM, 2 units. I was seeing minus 145, minus 146 at FanDuel. And then I have the Braden Point ladder. I am drinking a bit of juice here. 2 units on 3 shots at DraftKings at minus 140. I got 4 shots at plus 170, 1 unit, 5 shots at plus 375, 0.75 units, 6 shots at plus 750, 0.5, and then 7 shots at 11-1 at 0.25 units. Again, the higher you go, the smaller your wager. It doesn't have to be at 0.5 units, 0.25. It could just be like a buck or two. But I am laddering him up to 7 shots. And I also will have some more little parlays in the article because I do like the Declare and Kucherov. And I think there's different things that you can do. All 3 of those guys to have 2 points at like 14-1, or maybe just the Stamkos. You can go Stamkos, Hagel, and Cirelli at plus 240 for a point as well. So I do believe we're going to see a couple goals from the Lightning, and we'll just move on. That was my favorite game. And again, I know we're not breaking any news here. The Sharks are bad, but let's try to win some money off them down the stretch of the season. They've been pretty good to us for the most part. All right, where do you want to go next? What was another appealing game for you?
Rangers in Boston. I mean, could be a good one.
That's a good one. That should be a good one. All right, so Rangers in Boston here. Original 6 matchup. 2 teams playing really good hockey, really all season long. The Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers. The Bruins at home here tonight at TD Garden. Get some live odds here for you guys using the prop shop and the parlay calculator, 2 tools that are free, save you a little time, a little bit of cash. We have the Bruins checking in at minus 135 over at DraftKings if you want to back them, and the Rangers at plus 120 over at BetMGM. And the total here, it's a low one at 5.5. Shesterkin has been playing a lot better lately. What you got over there? I don't have a ton of plays, but I'm going to continue to ride Pavel Zacha. I just feel like there's pretty good value there with him.
Yeah, Wild. The bet that they made with Pavel Zacha and Charlie Coyle as their 1-2 is, I mean, it's a gangster move by Boston, right? Everyone was wondering, that's what we're doing. That's how we're going into the season. We're getting from Bergeron and Krejci to these. I mean, they weren't unknown players, but were never considered top line players, and they've been serviceable to very good. Yeah, career years. And that's a gangster move by the front office by Boston. New York side, I'm going Kreider 145, and I'm going to go Panarin at 190. And then on Boston side, I'm going Pasta. He's plus 100, so I love that. Like, dude is just a damn wizard. And Marchand at 220.
I agree with the comment here from Adam, is that it is a gangster move. They've given those guys opportunities to play, and they're really good players, but it's a move that may not pay off for them in the playoffs, right? We'll see how it works for them. But everyone
was saying it wasn't going to pay off for them in the regular season. Well, here we are.
Yeah, fair point.
For 6 months, they were one of the most dominant teams in the league.
Yeah, it is weird to see them not aggressive, though. You know what I mean? At this time of the year, they've been aggressive in the past. They lost to Florida in the first round. They didn't do anything. I can't even think of a move that they made. If there was one, it was to their bottom 6, but I can't really. Pat Maroon, and he's not even playing. So, we'll see how it does play out. But they are cooking right now. A lot of people seem to be on the Rangers here. I kind of like the Bruins, guys, but it's not a super strong feeling. But they're 23-8-6 at home. Like they've been pretty dominant at home for the past couple of years. They've won 3 straight games. I'm not saying that I see the Rangers game slip lately. They're fine. They're 6-3-1 their last 10. It should be a good one. Pavel Zacha, though, right? He just continues to pile up points. We talked about him on Tuesday. We had him as well in the article with Duclair. Minus 125 for a point at DraftKings. And we'll just leave it at that. The assist is plus 145, but you got Pasta to score. These guys are hitting the score sheet almost every night. There's a little bit of value on Lafreniere, but it's a low total, 5.5. I don't think we could see maybe strong goaltending on both sides here. Philadelphia and Carolina, you're rocking the Hurricane shirt. You got Aho on the back there. So I assume that you're going with Sebastian Aho here tonight. Hurricanes are also cooking minus 240 on the money line over at Bet Rivers, and the Flyers checking at plus 205. Thoughts on Torts? We talked so much about Torts, but thoughts on Torts, like scratching the captain, Sean Couturier? I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I don't think I like it.
I'm a John Tortorella fan.
I'm not a fan of that move.
The number one reason I'm a fan is because he does things like this, and it gives us stuff to talk about. I guess I'm technically
and he doesn't media. And he doesn't respond on it. And it's not his job. He could do things he doesn't have to answer, but he doesn't answer to a lot of the things that he does.
Yep. It's he battles back from that injury, and then he becomes the captain. You know, they do this big ceremony, which I'm sure John Tortorella is part of. And scratching your captain is, I think someone put up the other day, it's the first time it's happened since like 2006. And it was because he was injured. Or no, they were already made the playoffs and they were resting their.
Like maybe the last game of the year or something.
Yeah. One of the last games of the year. That's the last time it's happened. So it's like 2 decades ago. So it's a bizarre move at this point. It's a very bizarre move. And here we are talking about it. I mean, maybe he did it because we're not talking about how bad they've been lately.
They have been bad.
And how bad Urson has been, and just how they can't score goals and can't seem to do anything right like they were. I mean, you trade away some players, it obviously disrupts the chemistry, right? Like, you know, someone like Walker and Sealer, right? So it's just how it goes. I do not have Sebastian Aho to score, actually, but I am wearing a Sebastian Aho jersey. I think Carolina wins. I'm staying on the Gensel train because he looks to really fit there, man. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out, but it seems to be him and Aho just seems to be like a match made in heaven, and I love that. And I'm going to go Svechnikov at 190 as well. On the Philadelphia side, Tippett, beauty shot on Tuesday. One of the first goals of the night, like just an unbelievable shot. 195, and I'm going to go back to Joel Farabee. He's playing on the second line, and he's playing on the first power play, and he's plus 350. So it's just important minutes, important player for them, and playing important offensive minutes. Their power play's been brutal, but like, if teams are going to score that can't score, that's where they're going to score.
I didn't like the handling of Couturier, and I know that he hasn't been playing good. He was on the fourth line for a bit, and I think that was part of the start of it, right? Like, you're in quote unquote the doghouse. You're on the fourth line here tonight. We're taking you off the top line, and he's still playing like heavy minutes. But man, I don't think you do this to your captain. I just feel like you could really lose your dressing room. Like, you can scratch Konechny or Farabee or Frost and these younger players all you want, and I get it. I see the comment, Adam. The team did respond. They played pretty good against the Leafs, I thought, but again, you could really lose your locker room when you scratch your captain like this. He is coming off a significant injury. He hadn't played hockey in like 2 years. Maybe he's slowing down. He's hitting a bit of a wall. That's all part of it. But I just again, it is between Torts and Couturier. They don't have to answer to anybody, but I just, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And you text me and you said, man, Torts is a savage. And that's what he is. He doesn't care about anything besides winning. And if you are a Flyers fan, I guess you got to respect that. So he's just trying to get the most out of his team. And I don't know, it's an interesting tactic for sure. I like the Hurricanes tonight to continue to roll. They're just playing really good hockey with some of the trades. We've talked about how we like them a little bit more now. They've won 4 straight. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they're winning pretty comfortably in a lot of these games. I like them on the puck line tonight at plus 110 at Bet Rivers. I'm going to continue to ride Kuznetsov because why not? He's got points in 4 straight games. Where is he? I did see him this morning. I thought he was like minus 110 again. Where is he? Prop shop. Did they take him down? They were late to put him up. They were late to put him up the other day. I was waiting. Okay, he's back now. Wow, he's plus 100. So we're just going to continue to ride that one out, guys. If I could spell Kuz, plus 100 over at DraftKings. He's plus 160 for an assist, but we'll just take the point. I mean, since he's been back, he was another big winner. I mean, he wasn't even playing hockey in Washington, but he's got points in 4 straight. He's got 2 goals over that span. He's got back-to-back games of the power play. He's shooting again. These are things that we talked about on Tuesday. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but he's got 3+ shots in 4 of his last 5 games. Just seems like a rejuvenated player, getting the 16, 17 minutes. I'm playing with Svechnikov. I'm playing with Necas. So I'm going to take a little bit of stab on that line again tonight. Go Necas. Kuznetsov and Sveshnikov plus 375 for a point. And because I think they're going to win on the puck line, I think that they're going to be able to score 4 or 5 goals here tonight. So a little bit of a sprinkle on the 2 points for that line at 55-1. And then you mentioned Aho and Gensel. Those guys are plus 105 to pick up a point tonight. I had nothing I like on the Flyers side. If it was to pick one, it would be what you did, Farabee and Tippett. Those are the shooters. Those are the guys. Moving right along. Islanders and, man, there's a lot of key games here tonight, right? A lot of like playoff matchups on the line.
That time of year.
Yeah, it really is. We're in it. Okay, what do you like about the Islanders and the Red Wings?
I'm going back to a guy that, I mean, it seems like every time we do this and I say to bet, I was on Barzal, but he's cooled off. And I'm going back to Nelson, 165, one of the most just not talked about and just has been a good player for half a decade, like 20, 30 goals, like assistant captain, 4 checks, plays D, wins faceoffs, does everything. Really great player. On the island, and I'm going to go Horvat at 170 on the Detroit side. Patty Kane, he looks like Patty Kane. He turned into Patty Kane at the right time. I said I want Detroit to make it in the playoffs. I don't know if that's what they want. Their play some nights does not indicate that, but Kane at 170 and Lucas Raymond is hot right now, and he's plus 250. So the books haven't caught up yet that he's scoring pretty much every night. So if you're looking for a goal scorer parlay, a guy with a good odds, 250 is pretty sweet for Lucas Raymond.
Well, Detroit has just played to so many overs lately. We talked about it. There was another over Troy against your Blue Jackets, right? And we talked about the strong goaltending in Columbus,
Blue Jackets.
But we talked about the strong goaltending in Columbus, but I still I just didn't care because of the way that Detroit has played these games. It was 4-3 final there, so 7 goals. And again with the Red Wings, they just, I don't know, man. Like to start the season, they were scoring, they're above their weight. Like everybody was kind of having career years, and they're just not the same team without their captain Larkin. It's that simple. You take away Larkin, this team can't defend. They just have no answer for opposing teams' top lines. The last few games, again, 7 goals, 9 goals, 5, 10 goals, 8 goals, 4 against Arizona. That was a 4-0 loss. 9 goals against Colorado, 4-0 loss to Florida. They played the Islanders on February 29th. They lost that game 5-3. So I actually like the Islanders here in this spot just because of Sorokin. I think he's probably the best player on the ice. He's the guy that I have confidence in at the moment. I don't have any confidence in any of these Detroit goalies, but you're right about Patrick Kane, man. This guy has, I don't know, say what you want about the age, about his defensive game, the hip surgery that he had. He's still looks pretty good, man, in the league. He's minus 110 for an assist, which I think is interesting. But he does have points in 5 straight games. I was looking at the Islanders here, and I just think they split up the lines a little bit. I understand what Patrick Waugh is trying to do. He's trying to get something outside of the top line. He loaded up Barzal and Horvat and Nelson, and now Barzal is playing with John Gabriel Pajot and Anders Lee, which is not ideal. But they're just trying to get something going from other lines. But I'm going to go with Horvat and Nelson plus 135 for a point at Bet365. All guys are pretty juiced there to take his singles, and then Kane and DeBrincat at plus 135 as well for a point. I think the best value may be DeBrincat because he's minus 130, but I think that we'll see another trend here with goals between these two teams, and I'm going to lean with the Islanders to win the hockey game, and I think you can get them. They are slight favorites. You can get them at minus 105 over at Bet365. Okay, Winnipeg and New Jersey in here next. We talked about this just, I think, as we got on. We talked about the odds and maybe does it seem like a trap? Does it seem fishy? The Jets at minus 120 at FanDuel, and then the New Jersey Devils at plus 110. You want to talk about revenge? We're getting one already from our guy Tyler Toffoli, who we touched on Tuesday. No matter where Tyler Toffoli plays, no matter what jersey he wears, he scores goals, man, and he's around the net and he finds ways to pick up points. We had him for minus 130 for a point. I like him again tonight at minus 135 for a point. He's not playing a lot. Like his ice time has come down. The Jets are a team that rolls lines. They roll 4 lines. and they will continue to do that down the stretch here and into the playoffs. Like Toffoli played 18, 19, 20 minutes with the Devils. He 12-38, his last game, 13-12, his last 3 games, but he's got points in all of them. He's got 4 goals. He's got 6 points. He's got 2 on the power play. He's got 8, 9, 10 shots in his last 3 games. So I don't know, man. He looks pretty good alongside Monahan and Ehlers. So I'm going to take him minus 135 for a point. I like the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfectly constructed line. I've got him to score, for me, 185 and Kyle Connor at 150 because it is a Kyle Connor show.
That's good
on the New Jersey side, going back to Jack Hughes, I don't know, there's something wrong. He's just not the Jack Hughes that we've seen before. But, I mean, still, like, an important part of this team. Like, this team's going to go how he goes, plain and simple. And I'll say I'm here for the rebirth of Timo Meier, right? Getting, Toffoli moving allows Meier to move up to that one position, play the one position on the power play. He's got his confidence back. He's using his big frame, power into the net, like scoring one-handed goals. Like it's kind of nice to see Timo Meier back. It wasn't that he was bad, but like you're just paying this guy too much money to play on your third line. And not score goals and not be who he was when you hired him. And now he's turning back into that player, and I'm here for it. I mean, I've loved Timo Meier since he was a rookie, and him going to New Jersey, I was so stoked, right? It was like exactly what they needed. This big guy that plays with an edge, physicality, forecheck, good skater, shooter. I mean, dude, he's just a really good hockey player, and I was so excited. It's been a failure up to this point, but it looks like it's turning in the right direction. I think he scores again tonight.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense playing on the third line. Remember at the start of the season when he was benched too for a game? It's like, my goodness, Lindy Ruff, you're trying to get this guy going. It's not. He's been in New Jersey for a minute. He's probably played 20 games, and you're already benching him in a game. Yep. It's like, oof. Talk about Jake Allen though, guys. On Tuesday, like he's not a bad goalie. Again, you can't look at his numbers with the Habs this season. He played once every 3 weeks. They've rotated through 3 goalies for the first 4 months of the season. It's not ideal at all. He is a good goalie. I've always been a fan of him behind Carey Price. Always felt confident that he was one of the better backups in the league when he came in for Price. When Price was hurt, a couple of years ago, he held down the fort too. So he has been awesome in his 3 games with the New Jersey Devils. He stopped 35 of 37 against the Stars, picked up the win. Against Vegas, he stopped 34 of 36. It was a 3-1 loss. One of the goals came in an empty net late. And then against the Penguins, he stopped 36 of 38. Like this guy has been a 946, a 944, and a 947 save percentage where he has at least 34 saves in each of his 3 starts. So he's been awesome. I like the under here tonight. I think that just with both goalies, and that's probably part of the price too, guys, is the minus 120. Maybe Vegas is catching on to finally some decent goaltending there. So the under 6 is plus 100. I may pay a little bit extra juice to get to the 6.5 at minus 130 at FanDuel, just in case it's like a 4-2 final. It'd be a push, but I want to get that dub. So if it is a 4-2 final, we get that under 6.5 at minus 130 at FanDuel. Jack Hughes has actually been dropped. I just looked at his game log, and his ownership is minus 2% over the last 24 hours in fantasy hockey. I know it's playoff time and people panic, but that's you got to have some stones to drop a guy like Jack Hughes on your fantasy hockey team. That second line, they've just been so good.
In your head. One or the other.
He's been racking up assists. He's not scoring, but he's still hitting the score sheet. But you're right. He hasn't looked like
if you play in a league where there's somebody to replace Jack Hughes, I want to play in that league. Please let me play. I play in a league with Wizards, and I can't win games. And I'm going to start joining leagues that like random league where it's nobody's good and I don't know anybody because I need it for my confidence.
Yeah,
I'm getting worked
Connor. I would hold Jack Hughes in a 2-man league, you and I, where we only hold 7 players.
Yeah.
5 players. Yeah. Anyways, Connor and Scheifele plus 100 for a point. I think like these guys that are 2 legs. I said this in the chat the other day. We hit one that was like we had 4 separate 2 legs into one. A 2-man league is just you and I. I'm holding Jack. We should.
Next season, two-man league.
Yeah, two-man league. See what we
how
can
it
come up
goes.
with. It'd be tough,
Yeah.
man. There's a lot of good players on the waiver wire. Like this time of the season,
Your
I
brain
want Duclair in my
trying
squad.
to make it lineup decisions. Your brain would know.
This is the worst. These 2-leg parlays, like maybe Nelson Horvat plus 135, Connor and Scheifele plus 100, Kucherov and point, or maybe that one's a little steep, like Zaka and Pasternak. I think it's interesting to put those guys into, Aho and Gensel, if you want, and kind of turn that into like a, maybe just take 3, and then you can turn that into like 5-1, 6-1. But I want to ride this second line just to see, right? Even though Jake Allen's been really good, I think Toffoli, Monahan, and Ehlers at plus 400 for those guys to pick up a point. And we did hit that large one the other day. Those 3 again at 55-1. So a little bit of sprinkle on that line, just heat check time, even though it is Jake Allen. St. Louis and Ottawa in here next. Go ahead, man. These are 2 teams that I really can't figure out. Sometimes it's the Blues. It's like, wow, the Blues are good. Blues are good again. Blues are trash. Sens are good. Sens are trash. For the most part, the Sens have been trash. Could be some goals in this game, though.
Yeah, definitely could be some goals. We talked about it on Tuesday. Binnington's actually been pretty decent the last month or so. So, I mean, if I was going to bet on this game, I would say St. Louis. Jordan Kyrou, 190. Jake Neighbors, 280. Jake Neighbors is playing some important minutes for St. Louis right now, man. This is a good hockey player, a young hockey player. They want to get him going. They want him to get some confidence for going forward. They want him to be a star offensive player for them, and the usage is showing that. So pay attention to that. And plus, he's 290 to score. In Ottawa, Brady Tkachuk at 125, and Tim Stützle. Tim Stützle has actually played way better the last couple of weeks than he has for basically the entire year. He's been invisible up until this point, but he's played very well the last few weeks and is heating up, and he's 195. So I like that.
I like Stützle as well. Man, he just scored his first power play goal the other day. Like, that's how bad it's gone for him. I mean, he has 16. I'm looking now. He has 16 power play points, but he had 10 power play goals last year. He had 28 power play points. He's got the 16 this year, which is respectable, but 1 power play goal, which is wild to me. He's still having a good season, 64 points in 67 games, but he had 90 in 78 last year. But I noticed what you just said. He's playing a lot better, and he's shooting the puck lately as well. So I like him at over 2.5 shots at minus 135. And what's going on with Jordan Kyrou? I dropped that guy a month ago, and I was looking today. I'm like, okay, a matchup against the Sens. They can't keep the puck out of their net. Maybe I'll do a little Jordan Kyrou point, but I don't know, man. Like, it's on that second line with Saad and Buchnevich. I just don't think I can do it. I just don't think I can get there. In the past, I would jump all over this, but he's just not having a great campaign. I think Braden Point at minus 120, or Braden Shen at minus 120, I think is a pretty good price playing with Robert Thomas. He seems to be the most consistent blue. Like, when they score, it's Thomas touches it for the most part, an assist or a goal. He is playing with Thomas, as I mentioned, 5-5, but he was taken off both. Actually, he's on that first power play with Thomas as well, running the point. So minus 120, we'll go Stützle 3 shots. Minus 135, and we'll go Thomas for an assist is always a good one, but we'll just go Shen point. You know what? I just have this Kyrou feeling, guys. Kyrou will score a goal. What a sucker for just losing money on Kyrou.
I got him on there.
You got him. All right, he's scoring then. What? I got to just double check to see if there's a better price for the point, because when I saw minus 140, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Minus 135 DraftKings. You got him to score. I'll take the point. See what happens. Man, rough go. Like, his 21 goals is pretty good. Like, he has 50 points. It's not awful, but he's been way too inconsistent. He only has 1 point. I mean, they played Meaney at a goal and assist, but he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 donuts over the last 7. He's been pretty bad. Okay, we'll keep going here. Adam, welcome. He's been up since 5 a.m. in the hockey lab, man. Probably watching Dodgers and Padres too, like a true psycho. Pascal 3-leg goal parlay. He's got Jarvis, Point, Duclair. Let's go. Troy says a few weeks ago, I traded Stone, Skinner, Meyer for Point, Petrangelo, and Drysdale. I dropped Drysdale and got Vasilevsky off waivers. I want to be in that league too. Invite us to that league where we can get Vasilevsky on the waiver wire.
Good Lord.
Good moves, Troy. We love you, man. We're not,
buddy.
Not league shaming here.
No, that's awesome. I'm just jealous that I only play in leagues where people don't sleep and know everything about hockey.
I know, man. People in my league are setting alarms for 3 a.m. Eastern time so they can pick up players before you wake up. It's pretty savvy. How about this game? We're gonna get a true test of how good these Preds actually are. Nashville and the Florida Panthers, ladies and gentlemen. You want to talk about Nashville? 40 wins in 69 games. The Preds or the Panthers have 45 wins in 68 games. So these two teams separated by 5 wins. Of course, one more game played by Nashville, but the Preds, nobody hotter right now. And they got to go into an environment where I truly think that it is Florida, and then there's a gap. I do think that the Panthers are ahead of everybody else just by a touch. We'll see what happens tonight, though. They're massive favorites here, minus 169 and plus 155. Maybe an opportunity to jump on your Preds or reverse puck line just to kind of see how hot these guys are here tonight. And even the reverse puck line is minus 160. It's not a great price, but I'll let you take it away. Should be a good one, man. I know you're going to tune in live.
Yeah, I mean, this is exciting. Burnett going back to Florida where, he was coaching and I mean, got out coached in the finals badly when he was the bench boss there. He kind of inherited it from the whole Quenneville thing. Dude, I mean, he's done all the right things. I really like Burnett as a coach. I think he should be in the not nominated for the Jack Adams. The Nashville Predators are not a highly skilled team. They don't have a ton of star power. I mean, it's Yossi and Forsberg and then just a bunch of other dudes. It is really the truth. I mean, you got McDonough, he's old. You got O'Reilly, he's old. Both great players, and I'm so glad that they play in Nashville. But they're hot right now. I mean, Florida's been one of the best teams all year, but I think this game could be really, really telling. Obviously, playing in the Western and Eastern, like they won't meet unless they meet in the Stanley Cup Finals, which I'm not saying I think is going to happen, but would be fun for me.
Yes, so.
Nashville, I'm going back to Forsberg plus 155. They just keep giving us plus numbers. Am I frozen?
No, you're back now. You were.
Okay.
You're good now.
They keep giving us plus numbers on Forsberg, and he just scores every night. So plus 155, I love. And I'm going to go Novak at 410. And I love that. He's not. They've been moving the lines around a bit, but he's still playing a lot of important minutes for him. And then Florida side, I'm going to Reinhardt at 130, Verhaeghe at 175.
It's hard not to go Forsberg. Like, it's hard not to take him to score a goal tonight or pick up a point or to have 4 shots, even though it is the Panthers, right? It just takes one or two power plays to kind of get there. It's a pretty good price at Bet Rivers at minus 114, even minus 166 for a point, like in some sort of parlay or something. I couldn't believe that Ryan O'Reilly didn't touch the score sheet on the 8 goals. Oh, EY's gone. Your camera's gone, but I think I kind of still hear you in the background. Maybe if you bounce and you come back in, or maybe your camera will reappear again. Whoa, nobody wants to see this guy up close like that. Nyquist for a point, I think is pretty good value for Gustav. We got lucky. He just had one, I think, in the blowout win against the Sharks. But DK minus 105 for a point. We'll see if UI gets back up in here. I actually don't have a lot else from this game. I usually do like a Reinhardt and Barkov type thing, but odds have just adjusted significantly to hammering those two guys. We'll see if UI gets back up in here. Maybe we'll just move on. Yeah, we'll just move on. We'll wait. There he is. He's coming back. But his camera's not showing, so no camera. There you go. There we go. Oh, no, he's gone again. He's gone.
I don't know what's happening, man.
Now you're back. Nyquist for a point, minus 105, DraftKings, right? I still think it's a pretty good price. I know it's the Panthers. Bobrovsky's been awesome, but I still think it's pretty good value. We talked about him a lot this season. Is Tarasenko still up on that top line? It's been kind of quiet the past couple of games, but if he is, the value should be there still. Yeah, he still is there. And I would imagine, yeah, minus 105. So those would be my two plays here from this game. Should be a really good one. I do think the Panthers will win, but man, the heat check time. Said that a couple times, but certainly heat check time for the Preds. They've been hot. Nyquist point, Tarasenko point. We'll move on. A lot of hockey here. Buffalo and Edmonton. Go for it.
Buffalo and Edmonton. Edmonton, usual suspects to score. McDavid, Draisaitl. Other guys are getting it done. Obviously, Zach Hyman is having an unbelievable year. I guess, you're a smart hockey player, a hardworking hockey player, and you play Connor McDavid. You're going to score a bunch of goals, and good for him. I've always liked Zach Hyman. Hardworking, honest player, good player, really good with the puck in front of the net in short areas. So that's why he's doing really well. Buffalo, Tage at 220. Like I said, I feel like Tage is kind of rounded back into form and is kind of himself again, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you? Like he's kind of turned back into Tage Thompson. They're still not a great hockey team, but he's a really good hockey player. And I didn't know who else to pick. So I'm just going to bring this to light. I'm going to put this in this weird, unlikely, but could happen goal scoring parlay that I'm going to give at the end of the show. Peyton Krebs is playing on the second line and playing on the power play. And he's plus 950 to score on FanDuel.
Wow.
So
pretty good odds. You're not going to find too many players in the top 6.
He might play 20 minutes, right? He might play 20 minutes. And if he does, the odds of him, the puck could hit him and go in, guys. Like and Peyton Krebs he's a pretty decent player.
Yeah, he is. Nice find. I like that one. I got Hyman for an assist tonight. I know he scores all these goals, but I look at Hyman and I see plus 160 for an assist. See that he's playing with McDavid. I see McDavid's minus 125 for 2 points, like a little bit juiced. I like that play. McDavid 2 points for minus 125, but I'm like, my goodness, if McDavid's going to get a couple points here tonight, can Hyman fall into an assist? It's been McDavid racking up all the assists. Hyman's going to score 50 goals. Like he's going to be a 50 goal scorer this year, potentially. So I'm going to take a shot on Hyman, Apple, just because I like the odds. Plus 160 assists. McDavid 2 points, minus 125. And you're right about Tage Thompson. He does look like himself. Sabres are playing pretty good hockey lately too. Like they're driving offense. They're putting a lot of pucks towards the goal. Tage Thompson's minus 125 for a point. And Tuck, the same thing. Like Tuck has been good too. So for the 365 DraftKings users out there, I probably will do this, but I'm going to take Tage as a solo bet at minus 125, but Tuck and Thompson for a point is plus 180. And I like the look of that. Moving along. I think the Oilers won the game. Montreal and Vancouver, and talked about them again. The Habs, right? They hang around. I'm always hesitant to take teams against Montreal in 60 or puck line stuff. I was happy that there was a lot of chalky plays we went with last week. We hit a 7-1 in 60 parlay with like the Kings and your Preds and the Hurricanes and the Bruins. We left the Habs off the board here. I would be hesitant again, guys, to like hammer the Canucks on the puck line. They probably win the game, but Montreal seems to hang around in these games when Montembeault especially is between the pipes. So we'll wait to see. He's expected, I think, to start tonight against Vancouver. But I would say that Brock Besser and JT Miller, the Habs still take a lot of penalties and a lot of dumb penalties. They were in that game against the Oilers. I thought they outplayed them. They took 2 penalties in the final 5 minutes. And one was a 4-minute major that carried over into overtime. And when you play against the Oilers and they're on the power play in overtime, it's usually a recipe for a disaster. And that's what happened. I would expect Vancouver to get a couple power play opportunities tonight too, like Brock Besser, JT Miller, Elias Pettersson. These guys, superstars, of course, but they're certainly in play for some goals. What you got on your card?
I'm going to go Caulfield at 190 and Slafkovsky. They're just the new hook experiment for me as over, and I don't know how else to pick. number one reason I'm going to pick two guys playing on the same line, which I don't like to do, but like this is the offense for this team. And Slafkovsky is at plus 320. He's playing on the top line. He's playing on the top power play.
Yeah, I like him for a point.
I mean, I love him for a point for sure. I'm the goal scoring guy, so I say he scores tonight, and I've got him included in this weird parlay. I'm actually excited to give it to you guys at the end. I'm not saying do what I say. No, that's the wrong way. I'm not saying do what I say.
I say you do what he says.
Yeah. I mean, for pizza money, $1.
Yeah, $1 here on a Thursday. Slafkovsky's plus 100 for a point. It's really good odds, man. Like I would like to see Matheson use him more. Matheson's always playing catch with Suzuki and Caulfield, and Slafkovsky's is wide open all the time. Like, my goodness, we've seen a couple one-timer power play goals from him lately, but use him a little bit more. It's just power play so predictable, and they're just overplaying Caulfield. Anyways, speaking of Caulfield, 4 shots at minus 130. He had 0 shots heading into the third period against the Oilers, and in a span of a minute and a half, he picked up 4. That's what he can do for you. He's still shooting the puck a lot. The goals haven't been there really for him this season, low shooting percentage, but the attempts are there every single night. So it is one of my favorite shot props tonight. Minus 130 at Bet Reverse for 4. Slafkovsky's plus 100 for a point. And then JT Miller and Brock Besser, little juice on this parlay. Minus 110 for these guys. And we'll just move on. But Suzuki, Caulfield. Actually, I want to put Suzuki and Caulfield in there too. Plus 110. You're right, Evan. He says, whenever I take the team in 60 against Montreal forces overtime. They played the most 1-goal games in the NHL this season.
Been scrappy.
Actually having a pretty good year, man. Like, I know that they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're just a touch behind that tier of New Jersey and Pittsburgh. And if they just won half of their overtime losses or their 1-goal games, it'd actually be in a playoff spot, which is crazy to talk about because they battled a ton of injuries and they're pretty much a one-line team. Okay, moving right along. We're almost done. 3 more. Actually, 2 more because we led with San Jose. Chicago and Anaheim. Oh, baby. So, what I will say about Chicago and Anaheim is that when the Blackhawks played the Sharks the other day, I had a same game parlay with Chicago's top line, believe it or not, and they all hit. It was Bedard, Kurashev, singles, plus 115 for those guys to pick up points. And then I tried Kurashev, Bedard, and Tyler Johnson, 30-1 for a 2-point night tonight. Man, like, I don't know. I don't have much, but it is the Ducks EY. Like,
I'm sure you got 4 goal scores. I'm contractually obligated to give goal scores, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, these guys are NHL players too, and there are some guys that can definitely do it. Connor Bedard's going to play against a lowly Anaheim Ducks team. That can be fun to watch. Bedard is plus 150. I like that. And it seems like Nick Foligno just scores every night because he stands in front of the net and Connor Bedard holds the puck and shoots it off Nick Foligno and it goes in. And he's plus 290. On the Anaheim side, Frank Vatrano started the year super hot. He's been, hot and cold, still a goal scorer, still a great shooter, 165, and Troy Terry at 220. And we can move on.
Bedard plus 105 for an assist. Tyler Johnson plus 100 for a point, and Kurashev as well is actually Kurashev's minus 140 for a point. That's a little steep for me. But
yeah,
Tyler Johnson for a point plus 100. I think if you have Bet365, why not just take a shot on all of them in one? And most likely, if I think Kurashev and Bedard at plus 115 for a point is pretty solid. And then maybe you go. I don't want to get too crazy here on the Blackhawks, but like I said, the matchup is fantastic. They're an NHL team. That line has been decent. Bedard has been good. He's taken care of some teams that when the opponents are not as great. So 30-1 for those guys to have a 2-point night. Do you have the Ducks? The Ducks shuffle their lines all the time, but Vatrano and Terry have been together for the most part, right? Just want to double check here.
Yeah.
It is a late game. I got it here. Strome, McTavish, and Vetrano. So they have shuffled some things around. I like the Vetrano call. Like, he's just been the most consistent player for them. He's minus 130 for a point. I think that's pretty good. We can just move on. You're right. I'll probably have because I'm a psycho late at night, I'll probably have a Vetrano, McTavish plus 200 for those guys to hit the score sheet tonight. Watch we see a 1-0 game. Waste all our money on Hawks and Ducks. All right. Expansion battle. Basement battle, go to expansion battle. 55-40 here. We have Seattle and Vegas. Man, the Kraken were rolling for a little bit. It looked like, hey, they're starting to, they had a lot of puck luck last year, and they didn't have it to start the season. So certainly some regression in their game. I think they're the only team with a double-digit shooting percentage last season, and they made the playoffs and they went on a run. But man, they've lost 5 straight now. The goals just haven't been there for them this year, and Vegas is starting to play a little bit better. They have only won 4 of their last 10, but I noticed their game has been a little bit better since Jack Eichel has returned to the lineup. I like Marchessault and Eichel. I'm not breaking any news, but I think Marchessault scores a goal. I just bet Marchessault almost every night to score a goal.
Yeah, I got Eichel at 140, and I'm going to go Barbashev. He's at, I think, 330. He's been really noticeable if I watch Vegas games. I like watching Vegas games. I like the team. So I'm going to go Barbashev there. On the Seattle side, I'm going to go Jared McCann at plus 250. And Eeli Tolvanen, they've moved the lines around. He's playing on the top line and playing on the top power play. And he is still at plus 340. He's already been a good player and has already been a pretty decent goal scorer and played on the second power play, but he's moved to the top power play and the top line. So 340, he's also included in this wild bet that I'm going to unleash on the world at the end of the show here.
I like it. Man, that's one thing with the Kraken too. They have tried a lot of different things this year, haven't they, with their lines? It has
last year they barely moved anything.
You're right. They didn't move anything for the most part. It has been Tolvanen and Bjorkstrand and Gord, but like you said, they split those guys up. I think McCann at 3 shots at minus 114 is pretty good. Marchessault at minus 145 for a point, and Jack Eichel for 4 shots at minus 110. Not too bad. I will do an Eichel and a Marchessault same game parlay at plus 110 for those guys to hit the score sheet. Vetrano shots on goal looks good. He's been over 5. It's 3.5 plus money, but I think I dig it still. The matchup's good. And you talked about he's been over 5. He's been over in 5 of his last 6. Commish TJ Parker in the house. Did Mark message you last night? Okay, you guys are just chatting. I love it. Well, you guys
little league chat.
Like whoa! He did. Looking forward to see when it comes in. You guys are. I love it. I'm here for the community. Savages. Okay, you got some goal scorers. I'll start here with some sides and then kick it over to you. So Carolina puck line tonight for me plus 110. I do like the Jets at minus 120 on the money line. I have the Tampa Bay Lightning, a little bit of juice there for them. I also have them. I have them to win by 5 goals as well. And in a ticket for me, it's like I put like $5 down on it. I think it's plus 550. But I like the Lightning to win by 2, minus 143. I think over at FanDuel's 2-unit play for me. So Jets money line, Carolina puck line, Tampa puck line. Some other games here where I think there's a little bit of juice, but I do believe that we'll see the Panthers win. I do believe that we'll see the Golden Knights win, and I like the Islanders tonight to go into Detroit and beat the Devils. But I'm not super strong feelings on those games, and I do have the lean to the Rangers as well. But I think that the under between the Jets and the Devils, I think, is a pretty solid play as well. And then you got some goal scorers, and I'll finish up with a couple props.
All right. So here's the goal scorers. Kreider, Panarin, Pasta, Marchand, Tippett, Farabee, Gensel, Svechnikov, Kyrou, Neighbors, Kachuk, Stutza, Connor, Toffoli, Meyer, Hughes, Nelson, Horvat, Kane, Raymond, Forsberg, Novak, Reinhart, Verhage, Tage, Krebs, McDavid, Draisaitl, Caulfield, Slafkovsky, Besser, Pedersen, Bedard, Foligno, Vetrano, Terry, Kucherov, Point, Zetterlin, Zadina, McCann, Tolovan, Eichel, Barbashev. The 8-way Maniac parlay goes as follows.
Let's go.
Kreider, Pasta, Gensel, Connor, Forsberg, McDavid, Reinhart, Kucherov. On a $1 bet, that gives us a $913 payout. It's going to get nuts. Hold on to your fucking hats. Four-way parlay. No, don't do this because I'm telling you what we're doing. But if you want to jump on the crazy train with me, it's gonna be a hell of a night.
I'm jumping on with you. No matter what you say, I am betting.
No matter what I say. Jake Neighbors, Tommy Novak, Slafkovsky, and Ellie Tolovan all to score. That's a $5 bet. I don't suggest that, but I just got a real gut feeling, so I went with 5. That's a $2,046 payout. I got one more.
What is it again? Neighbors, Slafkovsky, Novak,
Tolovan, and Novak. And now I've had those 4 guys, and I've also added a favorite of mine, Peyton Krebs, because he was 9 plus 950. $1 gives you $4,485.
Let's have it.
If that hits, you will never see me again. I quit.
That'll be it. He'll leave on top like George.
I'm retiring from life. Me and my wife are buying a trailer and I'm moving to the woods.
Nice. I'd like to join you. I mean, just put a TV as long as you get a little service. I've seen you out there camping in the woods with the TV outside the trailer.
Oh yeah. I got like a 55-inch, put it on a tripod. I'll be watching hockey next weekend down at boys in Tuscumbia, Alabama.
Oh man. EY paralyzing that all. Aiden here for it. I'm also here for it as well.
Let's talk seriously about the Jake Neighbors, Tommy Novak,
parlay,
Slafkovsky, and Tolvin. Those guys could all score. Yeah. I know that it's rare, and Vegas, this isn't $1 billion industry because people win on bets like this. I mean, the odds are like plus 390, plus 320, plus 410, plus 290. These are all guys that score. I mean, they're not 40 goal scorers, but these all play prominent positions. All of them play on the power play, and 3 of the 4 play on the number 1 power play. Tell me I'm wrong.
Right. And that's what I wanted to say. It's not like you're picking 3rd and 4th line players. You were picking guys in top 6 roles. You're picking guys that are on top power plays. And I think that's the key when you're trying to identify some value with some goal scorers, right? It's why you've had like Newhook here and there, Slafkovsky, right? Novak. These guys are getting opportunities, and Vegas is just not adjusting with the line movement. It's like Duclair, right? I mean, it's one thing to pick Duclair, plus money for points against whatever, but like he shouldn't be minus 110 for a point against the Sharks. Like, so there's some value. And I notice in the NHL compared to other sports, they are slow to adjust with promotions to lines, right? They're not keeping up with, Kuznetsov, you know what I mean? Like Kuznetsov priced like a guy in Washington that had 1 point every 20 games.
Right.
He's on a little bit of a run. Love it. As Robbie says, those are all good plays, though. Obscure if they all hit, but I will play them as straights. And if one hits, it pays off the other bets. That's right. That's why we do little sprinkles on these same game parlays, man. You hit a 40-1, you hit a 75-1. Like, you got a bit of a bankroll here for the next little bit. Okay, so for me, we'll bring this back up. I'm starting with some obvious and chalky plays, but I just we've been picking on the Sharks all year long, and I'm just going to continue to do that. I got the 2 units for Nikita Kucherov for 2 points at minus 110. I got 1 unit for Braden Point for 2 points at plus 160. I got Anthony to declare for a point at minus 110 over at BetMGM, and I think the assist is in play too, guys, at plus 175. Man, you play with Kucherov, you play with Point, you're going to fall into points. The Lightning, again, as I talked about on the puck line, I am laddering Braden Point up to 7 shots, minus 140. I got him for 3 shots, and the higher I go, the smaller the wager. I also believe that Stamkos is in play as well. And Duclair is plus 160 for 3 shots if you wanted to try that out. Again, late night action. Let's try to win a couple bets early so we can have some fun with that late game in San Jose, because I will be watching it live. SAP Center, SAP Center in San Jose. I've been there. Shark Tank. I'll be watching, hoping that these bets pile up here with the Lightning. Zaka of the Bruins for a point at minus 125. Evgeny Kuznetsov for a point at plus 100 over at DraftKings. I got Tyler Toffoli for a point at minus 135. I have Tim Stützle for 3 shots at minus 134. The Ottawa Senators, I know I haven't been listening to these teams. Zach with the Bruins, Kuznetsov, Carolina, Toffoli, Jets. We have Stützle for the Ottawa Senators and Braden Shen for a point at minus 120 for the St. Louis Blues. I got Gustav Nyquist for a point, minus 105 at DraftKings of the Preds, and Tarasenko for a point at minus 105 at DraftKings for the Panthers. I got McDavid of the Oilers, 2 points, minus 125. Tage Thompson for a point at minus 125, and taking a shot on Zach Hyman for an assist at plus 160. Cole Caulfield for 4 shots at minus 130. Juraj Slafkovsky for a point at plus 100. Then we have Frank Vatrano plus 135 for 4 shots. Frank Vatrano for a point at minus 135. And I'm going to take Bernard for an assist at plus 105. And then Marchessault for a point at minus 145. And then Jack Eichel for 4 shots at minus 110. We'll have the article over at ftnbets.com with 4 of my favorite plays. Went 4 for 4 on Tuesday, so proceed with caution. We definitely won't go 4 for 4 today, but we'll try. We'll have a couple goal scorers in there, some prize picks plays, and some same game parlays there. The same game parlays that I like tonight, apart from what I talked about with Tampa Bay, I think plus 115 for Aho and Aho and Gensel at plus 115. And I think that second line with Kuznetsov, and then we have Natchez, and we have Sveshnikov is plus 375 for a point and 55-1 for 2 points. I think the Flyers, I just think Erson's hit a rookie wall here, and Carolina's feeling themselves at the moment. Horvat and Nelson plus 135 for a point. Kane DeBrincat plus 135 for a point. Connor and Scheifele plus 100 for a point. And then line 2 with Monahan and Ehlers is along with Toffoli's 4-1 and 55-1 for a 2-point night. Then we have Eichel and Marchessault plus money for a point, minus 110 for Brock Besser and JT Miller. And then we have Suzuki and Caulfield in there. So that's a lot that I've thrown at you guys. But if you have any questions, hit me up. I think really the same game parlays for me tonight would be Tampa, little bit of a sprinkle on the Jets because there's some chemistry with that second line. Same deal with Carolina. And then I like Vancouver and Montreal, the Suzuki, Caulfield, and then Brock Besser and JT Miller. So a lot of action. Top of the morning. Prince is in here. We're just getting out, but we appreciate you as well. Shot Prop King, great call on your sides for Tuesday's games. Your money. Yeah, we went perfect on the sides. I think we were 5 for 5. And we had the 7-1 side parlay there.
I had 23 goal scorers.
I was just going to say, it was a good day. You called a ton of goal scorers there. And that's a good little tip here, too, is TJ Parker says round robin on the goal scorers. And Robbie says, don't mind the round robin. I'll probably just stick with straights and the full parlay hit. But you put $5 on the straights and like $250 on the whole thing. But the round robin will allow you, it's like prize picks. You can go 4 for 5, 5 for 6, still earn yourself a little bit of a profit there. 5 goal scorers for me on the way out. I will have it in the article, but I like Jake Gensel tonight to score at home for Carolina. I like Tyler Toffoli to get one against his old team and his old teammate, Jake Allen.
Yep.
I like Brock Besser tonight to score a goal, Jonathan Marchessault to score a goal, and I think Braden Point is in for a hell of a night tonight against the San Jose Sharks. So we're out here, guys. Appreciate you. We will open up the cards next week, but I know you guys are here for the picks anyways. So let's have some fun on the ice tonight. Enjoy. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back on Tuesday. Appreciate you guys and all the support. Smash the like button, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend so we can keep this show around for the bosses over at FTN. CEY. Enjoy. Kick back with those slippers. Peace.